Hey guys, this is Dr. Aeronautics. Today we're actually testing some of the equipment that we're given on the Washington to Baltimore NEC route. I was happy to see it looks like they have rebranded and re-engineered both the train and the MPI locomotive for hopefully physics upgrades. We're operating as train 415, which departs at this time, so we're going to go ahead and get on the road here. I am using a rail driver, just an FYI. And I'm going to be testing the physics. I have a real GPS track from a MARC train that I rode in this exact configuration. 5 cars in an MP36PH-3C. And between Bowie State and Seabrook, and then again between Seabrook and New Carrollton, I'm going to write down the specific time the train is at a given speed. And that's going to tell me everything about whether or not the physics on this train is correct. I'm also going to be operating this train under the NEC Class C speed limits, which I don't know if it's going to be on here as freight or not, but there will be times when I level the train off before the maximum speed, and the reason I do that is because this equipment doesn't follow the maximum speed limits on the NEC. Now, that being said, everything is exactly where it should be in terms of track geometry and configuration, which means that there's no more guessing game on what milepost I'm really at based on, curves and whatnot. There is no doubting that. So let's see. We just picked up the south limits of Paul interlocking and Charles, so we are 30 miles an hour. Sorry, south interlocking limits for Charles and Bolton. Speed limit is 30 miles per hour. And there's milepost 96, which means, yes, there's the B&P tunnel right there. Okay, while we're going through the B&P, I can switch over to the carriage view and assess the realism of the train here. This is one train that I quite often ride. It looks pretty good. The lighting is a little bit off, though. At night, there is a more blue-whitish LED glow and less of a soft incandescent glow. These things are really cool. To go downstairs, you have to go to the side of this fire extinguisher thing and then down the first flight of stairs. And there's like a second flight of stairs that go underneath. In fact, that thing at the top is a railing for going down the stairs. The polygon count is a little bit low, and some things are a little bit too JPEG-y. But in all, this doesn't look that bad at all. It's believable. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what we're planning to do with this train. So, train 415. By the way, this is from a MARC schedule effective November 11th, 2019. I don't like running the COVID trains because they are all TBD and the schedules are all in electronic format because everyone assumes that they're going to be TBD. So I'm just not that interested in running them that way. So here's what we're going to do. We just departed Baltimore Penn Station at 7 o'clock. At 7:08, we're due at West Baltimore. At 7:15, we're due at Halethorpe. 7:22 at BWI Airport. 7:29 at Odenton. 7:36 at Bowie State University. That's where we're going to pick up the physics check. 7:42 at Seabrook, 7:48 at New Carrollton, and 8:02 at Washington Union Station. Once we get out of the tunnel too, I'll start assessing the MP36PH-3C for its sounds, because I can compare this in real life to ones that I've recorded. Okay, coming up to Fulton and Bridge, the curve is going to be a 40 if you're on a Class C train. But once we get to Fulton interlocking, we'll be able to start speeding up, which is good because, you know, I'm actually due in 90 seconds, and given our current speed, I don't think we're going to make it to West Baltimore on time. Now, that being said, I left the station 30 seconds late because the simulation began at the time the train was supposed to leave, because I didn't want to wait around 15 minutes and choose another service. The curve south of Bridge is 50 miles an hour, so we're just going to hold 40 until we see that 55 and we'll do 50. Although we're getting really close to, getting quite close to West Baltimore. And given that I don't know how this train brakes, I better start. Okay, seems to be a pretty strong braker. And hopefully there's lights at the platform, because I'm using my good old trusty liquid crystal display, which means at night it's very dark and it doesn't look like the sun is anywhere near rising. It would be light at this point, so that's a little bit unrealistic. Well, it looks like this is going to be a center platform boarding. I have not run this scenario before to know exactly what's going to happen, so we're going to have to do what we can. That being said, this train can load from low-level platforms. There we go. All right, the door's open. Nice. Well, that's a little bit unrealistic. Given that this is a low-level platform, this door would stay shut, and this door has stairs that you can put down. That allows passengers to board from low levels. Anyway, we've boarded. We're now 1 minute late, but I arrived 30 seconds after, just like I departed 30 seconds before. So all is well in terms of being able to run the schedule at the proper amount of time. So far, the physics seem pretty good. This is about the speed that we would be accelerating. Now here's the real question. Can we break 100 miles per hour? Because these trains regularly break 100. Alright, so it looks like some speed limits aren't simulated. The Frederick Road curb is 70 miles per hour. And they didn't get rid of the curb, so I don't see how that you could increase it at all. Oh yeah, let's check out those sounds. Okay, so the engine sounds good. The only thing that I'm going to say about this so far is the head-end power generator is obviously using the one from the California, the Caltrain, and that one uses a Caterpillar, which because I pay attention to sounds, I had a extensive music schooling, as in classical music, in grade school. So I pay attention to the sounds quite a lot. Looks like we're going through the Frederick Road curve right now. So Caterpillars tend to make more of a sound, which is not realistic. Mark uses Cummins generators, and those tend to sound a lot more like. So, I mean, if you want to know, just look up a GP40WH-2, and even though it's idling, you'll still hear the entire train going, and that's just because of the Cummins generator. Okay, we're probably going to have to start slowing down for Halethorpe soon. Make sure that we're not going around. Okay, yes, we'll hit the platform. Good. Okay, guys, are we going to break 79 miles an hour? Because we have to. For it to be realistic, yes. They've removed the speed limiter. Okay, we're going to start slowing for Halethorpe. Let's see how we're doing on time. We're due in Halethorpe at 7:15. So we're pretty much just about on time, assuming that I can make this stop properly. Now, realistically, a conductor would dim their headlights as they're approaching the station. But seeing it as how 7:15 is still completely pitch black, I can't see a thing. Okay, we are right on time, 7:15. Are we boarding? Yes, we're boarding. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to try for a classic mark departure, and that is you're in Notch 8 very soon. Next stop is BWI, and we are due at 7:22. Yeah, the physics look realistic. I think it's geared properly. Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay, so we are now between Winans and Grove, which means we have a 110 mile per hour speed limit, and we're going to be on track number 3, which means the first curve south of 101. Oh, sorry, Winans and Grove. I was looking at the wrong column. The curve at Winans is 100, which we're probably not going to have to worry about for a while at least. And then the first curve south of milepost 106 is going to be 90. And I can see that coming on right now. So let's see, we know Washington, D.C. is at milepost 135.6, and we know that BWI is at milepost 106.3. So if I subtract them, I can find out exactly where BWI is. BWI is 29.3 miles. So when we see 29.3 miles on the distance counter down to our final destination, we will be at BWI. In fact, I can see it coming right. So based on our prior slowdown, I think when we hit the 120 sign, that's the time that we're going to notch off the throttle, and shortly thereafter we can begin the braking sequence. I think this train brakes very hard. I'm not certain whether or not the braking that occurs when I'm riding the train is full service application, but I can be sure of what throttle setting you're in based on the pitch that I'm hearing. Okay, we should be going under the BW Parkway right now. Yes, there it is. And then the ramp to 195 should be coming up in a few more seconds. Yes, there it is. It's incredible. You know, I can't see anything but like 100 feet in front of me, but everything is so realistic, I can trust it to be there, as it would be in real life. It's incredible. And I see the BWI station coming up. Hopefully we'll get to see a plane fly. That will be fun. And realistic. Okay, we're due at BWI at 7:22, so we're actually a little bit early. So that kind of surprises me, because it seems like this train is a little bit weaker than what physics say. But we'll see. Oh, that's cool. That person waves. I used to do that. Sometimes I still do. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's a little bit of a... I feel like there should be some instrument lights here, all right, to light up the gauges, the brake gauges. That's the headlights. dial lights. There we go. Okay, so we're a little bit early here at BWI. And as I do this video, I can hear a train on the Northeast Corridor in real life right now. Okay, so there's a little bit of fan noise here. The fan noises that are on the New Jersey Transit, what is it? New Jersey Transit Comet 5 cars would approximate the sound that you would hear in this train. It's not silent, even when no one is on board. And I have been on a train before when no one's on. Okay, let's see. Next station is Odenton at 7:29. Can't move the train until we hit 7:22. You know, I'm surprised I still can't see the sky yet. You know, in real life, this time of year, as in like between Christmas and New Year's, the sun would be rising by 7:29, and that's the latest sunrise of the entire year. Sounds a lot like an F-59 PHI, to be honest. It does sound like a mix of that and the Caltrain sound, but I think they're just taking the Caltrain sound. But thank goodness the physics have been reworked, so going to notch 8 doesn't immediately cause an instantaneous acceleration to 50 miles an hour and suddenly it cuts off. All right, let's see, where are we? We are past the curve, which we have an unbroken 110 miles per hour. And the next station is Odenton at 7:29. This part of the Penn Line is so busy that during rush hour, you'll see a train here every 20 minutes. You can believe that. A MARC train. Not an NEC train, a MARC train every 20 minutes, which is crazy. That's the off-peak of the Washington Metro runs 20 to 25 minutes. So you're talking about the peak of a commuter train is more frequent than the off-peak of a rapid transit system. That's crazy. Although MARC is nowhere near as busy as New Jersey Transit. So it's not like it's unheard of. But it is extremely busy when you compare it with the Camden runs. Okay, let's do our subtraction problem again. So this time Odenton is at 1:14. So milepost, or not milepost, but indicated 21.6 is where would expect to see that. And I know from the detail that we're passing through Hanover right now. And let's see, that just passed under Dorsey Road. This is so great. Now, seriously, where is the sun? Okay, I can finally start to see a little bit of color on the horizon. That's the intersection of Route 170 and Route 176 Dorsey Road. Here's a lumber yard, which means we're about to pass milepost 110. If I peek my head out the window here, we should be able to see the pedestrian tunnel for Old Fort Meade Road any minute now. I see it right there. Yep, that's it right there. All right, let's see. I think that was Route 174. I don't have a map up, by the way. This is from memory. So I think the next bridge is Route 32, which means Odenton. Yep, there's Grove Interlock, which means Odenton can only be slightly beyond. Oh, you know what? We've actually hit our top speed. We're actually decelerating. Now, it seems to be gradual, not immediate, so I think that means that the physics are realistic, but the gearing might still be a little bit off. We'll compare it to the graph that I took of a real ride. We'll see how that compares. And I did count the number of cars when I took this speed graph, and it was 5 levels. So we have the exact same train configuration. Okay, slowing for Odenton. We're due here at 7:29. Yeah, see? So, okay, yeah, I think the physics are just a little bit off on the slow side, because you can see we've been in notch 8 pretty much the entire time, and we're already due at Odenton. That tells me that we could reach a higher speed. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Okay, load my train because I'm late. And this is exactly where I would expect to see it, because the distance between Bowie State and Odenton and BWI Airport are the greatest length between two stations south of Penn Station. So we would expect to see any sort of speed performance hits around this location. Now, Odenton is the smallest station on the Penn Line that has a ticket office. Although I'm not sure, Perryville probably carries less amount of people and they have a ticket office. But that's north of Baltimore and not on our route. So, yeah. Okay, Bowie State at 7:36. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the times every 30 seconds of our speed, and then curve fit it on a graph, and then display the graph. And then you can see the baseline as well as are achieved. Is the sun. This ain't Alaska. The sun should be up by now. I mean, my only guess is they've configured it to use daylight savings time the entire year. Yeah, these sunrise times are dictated by latitude. You know, it's just not possible to receive a solar offset of more than an hour and a half at this latitude. That's good. This hill down to the Patuxent River, down to the Little Patuxent River, should help things out a bit. The way I know that the gradients are correct, even though I do not have the gradient document on hand right now, is because they match what you would see on the parkway. So there's a big downhill for the Little Patuxent, and then a big uphill, and then another downhill that's more gradual for the Big Patuxent, and then followed by another hill that's a gradual uphill for that. So the Little Patuxent Valley is more steep. The Big Patuxent is more gradual. Okay, so 16 is the mileage from Bowie State. So we've still got 3 miles to go, and this is where we would begin to see issues from not being able to go fast enough, because the train in real life would be somewhere up around 90 miles an hour at this point. And of course, if we were, racing another train at 90 miles an hour, well, that would definitely be winning. Okay, we're going through the Patuxent Wildlife Refuge now, so you can see there's pretty much an unbroken grouping of trees at this point. So I have to say, I'm pretty well impressed. The only thing that I don't like about this is I seriously think that the physics are lacking in performance on this type of train. Okay, we're coming down to the Patuxent River now, and we're going to go back up We've topped at 82.6. Yeah, it's too slow. All right, when we get to the Patuxent River, we'll go ahead and start slowing for Bowie State. That should be milepost 118. Yeah, I think we've already passed it somehow. Paying attention. And I can see the university lights coming. Well, for some reason the platform looks very short. I'm not sure why it... Bowie State platform is quite a long platform. Not sure why it's simulated to be a short platform. Unless maybe they're trying to simulate the last 3 cars thing. A lot of times you will hear the MARC train say only the last 3 cars are going to be served. So that might be what they're trying to get at. So what we can do is pull forward. Wow, Bowie State is 1%. It doesn't look like that in real life. What we can do is pull forward until we get exactly 3 cars onto the platform. We'll see if that's right or not. Okay, right there is 3. Okay. Looks like we might be able to fit a 4th. Anyhow. Okay, let's see. It's 7:37. Well, for some reason, this one isn't loading, even though it's fully on the platform. I guess it's designed to simulate that. So 7:36, yeah, we're definitely suffering from a performance hit. Okay, so the 0 time for my acceleration is 07:37:30. So we're going to sacrifice a little bit on our timetable to get a good acceleration profile here. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. First time is, we'll call it 17. Be good to it. Next check is at 7:38:30. We've got 35. Yeah, this is way underperforming. By this time, we would probably be doing 50. Got 44. Okay, at the Maryland 564 bridge, we should be doing 72. Yeah, we're underperforming. Got 59. Wow, interestingly enough, Bowie has been the town where I can see the most out of this entire time. Everything else has just been like what you're seeing now. Trees every so often. Okay. 67. for the 2.5-minute check. The train in real life would probably be upwards of 80 by now. Okay, next check is going to be at 7:43. $72. I can finally see the dawn sky. Alright, we'll call it 76. And I think that's our top, 81. So I think they did not remove the speed limit. It does kind of seem a little bit abrupt at how we change our acceleration profile. Okay. Yeah, Seabrook also has a last 3 cars thing, so that's probably why the station platform is so short. Okay. Whoa, that's not right. This is simulating Seabrook as a low-level platform, and that is not right. Seabrook is a high-level platform. I wonder why they decided to do that. That's kind of a big mess-up. Okay, 0 time from Seabrook is going to be 07:44. We are now 2 minutes behind schedule. I really hope that someone that doesn't mind messing around with the train definition file creates a physics upgrade for this train, because it is lacking in performance. It's kind of difficult to run a true mark timetable using the situation here. You can see New Carrollton and Seabrook are the stations that are the two closest apart on the southern end of the Penn Line. Okay, yeah, this is another thing that I identified during the review, is this retaining wall should be a lot higher than this here. While we're here, we can check out the lights for the Metro Rail. See how well that looks. The lights on the Washington Metro use old, like, vintage, like, what they call it? Like vanity lamps that you would find in, like, the bathroom. They're like giant globe lights positioned in a row, kind of like Broadway lights. Exactly like that. Okay. Ooh, I can see sky now. Yeah, this is it. This is exactly as it looks. Very nice. Okay, we are departing at 7:48. So when the doors shut, we're good to go. Hey, I can finally see our engine. Okay, next stop, Washington Union Station. We're due at 8:02. And I really haven't been able, or haven't needed to pay attention to my speed limits at all until now, because of how this train performs. Now, the interesting thing about how the speed limits work on this part of the NEC, once we get into the Washington Terminal section, is that if you're southbound, your speed limits are going to be set for 15 as soon as you reach Signal Bridge J. Whereas if you're northbound, you get to go 20 as soon as you reach H, and by J you need to be doing 20. So it's going to be interesting how that works out. Now we're guaranteed to get in plenty of time because, like I said, Mark sets the last station to be extremely lenient so that the train is ready to prepare for the next service. We don't progressively cause hits to other services that Mark runs. So we will be there on time. That was a little bit late. Let's see how we're doing against the US 50 traffic. Typically, you'd get drivers, traffic's not simulated. Typically, you'd get drivers that are, doing like 70 miles an hour. It's a good gauge to figure out whether or not you have a clear signal or not. If you have a clear signal, you'd be doing, in a MP36PH-3C, you'd probably be above 100 right now. Ah, there we go, there's traffic. Yeah, that's about... Well, that's about what it would look like if we were doing 100. The cars are probably simulated to be going 55 miles an hour like they're supposed to. And I'm finally starting to pay attention to the scenery now because I can see it. So next up, we should be crossing the Anacostia River. Yeah, train is maxed out. That is very frustrating. That should really be. That's the US 50. There should be a little bit of fancy street lights on that bridge, but that's just me being nitpicky. I mean, the important thing is the buildings that I use on the right to determine where the location of milepost 133 is are perfectly positioned. All right, let's see if they. I keep swearing that they've revamped the signal. Now, this kind of look like the old ones. I don't know if they've been reprogrammed or not. I hope they have, because the ones before aren't that good. The ones from the original NEC from Philadelphia to New York City. Okay, speed limit's getting really close to where we are now. This is 85 for non-tilting trains. It's Northeast Region, and that's got the correct number of cars. Okay, here comes the Camden line on the right. I love how realistic this looks. Okay, we're coming into CP Avenue. good old Washington light pollution. To be fair, though, those lamps are angled downwards. It's largely the buildings that cause that kind of issue. Yeah, I didn't think that would be simulated. So you see where the 20 is? That should be a 15. Curious to know. Oh, track 9. We're going all the way over to the west side of the station. That's my favorite part of the station. Okay, here comes the terminal ladder. It is kind of annoying that the descent into the station is so steep that you automatically get accelerated. I really don't like that because that's kind of, you know, you're biasing towards a collision with the buffer rather than having to use power to reach it. Is he on our track? Yeah, going over. Sometimes Union Station will do this. They'll actually stack 2 trains because the platforms are so long that you have a 5-car MARC train. You can actually fit both trains on the spot. There we go. Okay, grade's getting a lot better. It won't automatically accelerate. So if we stop right now, I'm going to bet the back of the train is already on the platform. Yep, all the way to the last passenger car. So just passed under the H Street Hopscotch Bridge, as it's known, and now we're going under the parking garage. And I see they've replaced the lights with these new LED ones. There used to be like these ginormous mercury vapor lamps that look like the ones that you used to see in like a Lowe's or something. Way back before LEDs were a thing. Those were pretty cool, and they were I think they were low pressure sodium, so they put out this like crazy orange glow everywhere. Let's see, how early are we going to be? Wow. It's good. We're due at 8:02 and it's 8 o'clock right now, so yeah, maybe 1 minute to yield to a train that's leaving, like an Acela Express or something. Because, you know, at the Acela Expresses arrive, they depart on the out. So there would have been an Acela Express departing. And I recognize Gate A. It's Gate A that's directly ahead. And for some reason, trains like to pull all the way up at Union Station. Oh, we're here. Oh, that's annoying. Dinged you on the horn usage. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this test. I have to say, the physics are a little bit lacking in this train. I mean, it's pretty nice, but I would really like to see 100-mile-per-hour capability. Like I said, I've observed this train doing well in excess of 100 miles an hour. As a matter of fact, I think I have a sheet right here that lists various speeds that I've got for such trains, and they have been quite higher than what you saw today. Actually, this sheet doesn't show. All right, I will see you guys next time. This has been Dr. Aeronautics. Bye-bye.